Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a Social Security disability attorney, and today I'd like to answer a question that I get from clients and potential clients quite frequently, and that is, I have a friend or an acquaintance who got approved for Social Security disability with a medical conditions that's far less severe than mine. Why am I having so much trouble getting approved, or why was I denied when my friend with a less serious condition got approved? And the answer to that question is there are many factors there. But first, let me say this, is that a lot of times these statements I get are from people, a friend of a friend of a friend. So before you assert that somebody got approved because they had a bad knee and that's all they had, make sure that you really know the full story. A lot of times people have multiple conditions. They may have a bad knee, but they could also have severe depression, or they could have an autoimmune disease, or they could have cancer. I mean, there's any number of things that be going on. So a lot of times you don't necessarily get the full story because people don't always talk about the full reasons for their disabling conditions. That's number one. Number two, realize in Social Security there are some significant inconsistencies in decisions. You'll look at disabilityjudges.com, for example, and you'll see that in the Atlanta hearing office, there's one judge who approves about 17% of his cases. Another judge approves 68%. Who you get's random. You get a judge who doesn't approve very many cases, you're going to lose. You get a judge who approves a much higher percentage, you have a much better shot at winning. So who the judge is can make a big difference. I realize that's terribly unfair. It's not right, but that's the system. So you get a judge who doesn't approve a lot of cases. You could be on your deathbed and you're not going to win. Number three is that Social Security has tightened its standards. 5-6 years ago, disability judges were approving about 60%, 62%. Last year it was 42%. I think this past year it went up to 2016. I think it's at 46%, which is a positive development. But still, it's down by about a third. So if you had somebody that was approved 6, 7, 8 years ago, it could have been because the standards were a lot more lax. So again, that maybe not fair to you, but the fact is that the Social Security does change its standards. They change the way judges are supposed to evaluate cases. Conditions, for example, years ago, obesity was a disabling condition, a listing level condition. If you are a certain weight and a certain height, you could be found disabled based on obesity. They got rid of that. They've changed the mental health listings. They've changed a number of other listings. So the standards do change periodically, and even though in theory Social Security is supposed to go back and evaluate people who are approved under the other standards and see if they're still disabled, they don't have the personnel to do so. So that could be a reason why your friend or acquaintance was approved and you're having more difficulty. I would say that the focus you should have is not on what happened to somebody else. How can you win your case? And again, you can win your case. I've mentioned this many times before. Go to the doctor. Go to a specialist. Get support from your doctor in the form of a functional capacity evaluation. Don't have gaps in your treatment. Be completely compliant with treatment. Take medications. Do everything your doctor tells you to do. Make sure when you go to the doctor to discuss work capacity issues, sitting, standing, lifting, and not just about how you feel, but how you function, because functioning is really important as well. So those are some of the things I would tell you in response to the question of why was this other person approved and I was not approved. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, and if I can be of assistance to you, please let me know. If you've not already done so, please go to my website at ssdanswers.com and download my free Secrets to Winning Disability Survival Kit. You'll find a lot of good information there, and it's very, I think it's very, very useful. So anyway, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, wishing you the best. Hi, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to know more about how to win your Social Security disability case, I'd like to invite you to download my Secrets to Getting Approved Early Survival Kit that I created just for people like you. Currently, I'm making the survival kit available at no cost, and I encourage you to grab your copy now. Some of the topics I cover include: how do I know if I have a case? Is it the right time for me to file my claim? 9 common mistakes that can doom your case. The 3 must-have arguments you use to win your case. And a topic that every disability claimant wants to know: how to avoid trick questions from the judge. If you or a loved one need to win Social Security disability benefits, you'll find the Survival Kit essential reading. Download your survival kit right now and at no cost. Just visit ssdanswers.com/survival and sign up. It's that easy. Please act now. And as always, I wish you the best.